Howdy, howdy ho from the garage. It is time for another video. Today, it's time to put the dash in the 180. If you guys missed the last video, I did find a dash. Absolutely insane that I found this 15 minutes from the house when I couldn't even find one in Japan for like a month and a half. But I found one. It doesn't have any cracks. It's a little bit dirty, a little bit of cleaning up that needs to be done on it. And today we'll be taking out the super crack dash out of the 180. Now, I pretty much have no idea what I'm doing. It can't be hard. I looked at some of the spots where there's screws on this dash. So, I mean, I would imagine that's the places where I'll be unscrewing from. And from what I understand, this piece right here, I'm gonna need to keep this piece since it's not on that dash. And from what I understand, it's very, very hard to get this piece out without breaking it. So hopefully we can be successful in that. Because once this dash is done and installed, the 180 is gonna be pretty much done and completely ready for sale. Oh man, I love this car. So let's dive in, let's see what we can do on this dash, and hopefully we don't run into any major problems. So what I'm gonna start with doing is I'm gonna take this little baby screwdriver and hopefully be able to pry out that piece that we need to keep. Oh my God, it sounds so fragile. And this is a sun-baked dash, so I'm sure this piece right here is not going to be the best condition. Oh, look at that, it's coming out though a little bit. Let's see if we can just, oh man. This is looking okay right now. This is looking way too okay right now. Oh my God, that was a crack. But hopefully it was just a tab popping out. Oh no, that just cracked a little bit. Teeny little crack right there. All right, we gotta be careful here. Oh yeah, okay. Okay. I don't think this is like a tab or anything. I think that's just something somebody stuck there. This whole side is up. If I can just get this side up. Freak a leak, that's a little crack. Okay, all right, we're out. Oh, what is that? What is that? There was a little tab or something. That's some kind of sensor. Does this thing have like an inside temperature? That could be like a thermometer maybe. I'm not really sure what that is, honestly. But we got it out. Slight crack right there from it, but definitely not terrible and definitely salvageable. I spoke too god dang soon. We did crack it. But that teeny crack right there, I think I should be able to get that back together with some heavy duty glue, and it'll at least do better than nothing. We don't want that big empty space up there. I think we should be fine. Hopefully we can get that last piece out without doing the same darn thing. First 2 minutes of this day, not going well, but I guess it could be worse. I could have cracked it into a million pieces, but only one little piece broke off, and I think we should be able to get that back together pretty easily. This piece over here seems to be a little bit more secured than the other one was. I'm not sure if I have to take that out first, but let's just try unscrewing the rest of this dash and see if we can remove the whole dash with that piece still in it, because I think it'll be easier to get from the other side. Starting off here with 2 screws that are below the glove box. Now, disclaimer here, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna kind of give you guys step-by-step of screws that I find, and hopefully we get this dash out of here. All right, so step 1 complete. You remove those 2 screws, you go to open the glove box, and it pops right out, no problem. I'm gonna try to keep my screws somewhat together. So I'm gonna throw these into the glove box, because that's not my favorite thing to do, but that's what I do all the time, it seems like, is lose screws. So next we're gonna do these 2 screws right here, right where the glove box was above it. Now I'm not sure if we have to take off those right there, because this metal piece does seem to be connected just to the other side of the dash. But just to be sure, I'm probably gonna go ahead and remove this piece. And then there should be another screw back behind here. So we're gonna have to take off this little side piece too to get to that screw. Actually, looking at this dash, this metal piece is still on there, so we're gonna leave that metal piece on. We will replace it though, because this one looks like a rusty piece of crap, so I'll put that metal piece onto this dash once we get it out. But there's the other screw I was talking about. It should be right there. And, they actually left those 2 screws in as well. So we might not have even really had to unscrew those. Let's see, what else do we have here? So it should be right there. It looks, Okay, so they did unscrew this side. So maybe this screw does have to come off. And then we should be looking at the 2 screws right here. 1, 2, some screws here. I think we should have to take out the climate control. I don't know if we'll have to take out the whole cluster and everything as well. I think we'll have to drop the wheel, the steering column a little bit, but that should be about it. And then there's another screw over here. To get the piece out, there's a screw right here. I didn't have to completely take this piece off, luckily. I just had to unscrew one right there and one at the top in the back. And that gave enough room to kind of just pull it off and get to that screw. So that should be it for this side, other than working over here and getting this one off. And I think that should be it on this side, and then that's gonna be the pain in the butt, is tackling all that stuff. Upon further investigation, right there, you guys see it? There is a screw in there, and there's another screw behind that one that I haven't taken off yet. So that is going to have to come off to be able to remove this dash. Ugh. Look at this guy. Old Dayton. Damn, I lose subs all the time. Like, who goes to my page and unsubscribes? Haha. Sorry, Dayton, bro. It could be a YouTube channel that's like inactive that just automatically unsubs. Or maybe people just hate your content, bro. Should probably get rid of your GTR. That's old Dayton from Godzilla and a Tux YouTube channel. Go check him out and gain him some of those subscribers back. Anyways, now we've moved on to this center piece right here. All I did was unscrew the shift knob, and this piece just pops out. There's some clips. All you have to do is gently pull it out, very gently, because it started feeling like it wanted to break. And now there's also some stuff connected to it back here that we're gonna have to unhook, but no screws necessary to get this piece off. Just very gently get under there. I think there was a couple tabs down here and a couple tabs around here and then at the top, but I just kind of reached my fingers around and it popped right out. Yeah, that whole part about no screws, I take that back. So this piece that's connected back here had a freaking screw in it. I think I broke one of the tabs, almost broke that tab, but the screw was still holding it in. I had to unscrew that, but it's off now. Now we just have to take out the climate control and the radio, and that should be it for the center area. So for any of you using this as a how to remove your dash, one right here, 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 here. Looks like we might be missing one here. Then 2 down here at the bottom. And it looks like we'll also have to remove these 2 right here. Old Japanese radio out. There was obviously some connections on the back of the radio and a ground. All of that's out. That should be fine right there. I'll tuck it back whenever it's ready to pull the dash. Now let's go ahead and get the climate control out. For now, I'm gonna leave the climate control connected. I've unhooked it from the dash, but it's still connected in the back. I would like to avoid disconnecting too many things. I think it should be out of the way whenever we go to pull the dash, but if not, we'll update that later on as we go. That should be pretty much it as far as I can see for the center console area. Oh, that's loose, but that's not the part we need loose. Feels like there's still some stuff holding it on. Well, actually, no, we're feeling pretty loose. We still got to get to this side over here anyway. So there's still some screws probably right there and down below here we got to get to. But that should be good for the left side, the center console. Now we need to move on to the driver's side. Driver's side time. Let's try to identify some screws. We're gonna have that one right there. We're gonna have, of course, this little thing that somebody installed, the original owner, I guess, is right under a screw. Hopefully I can get a screwdriver right up in there. It looks like almost maybe it was made for that, but hopefully we can get that screw out without having to take that off. Screw right there, 3 screws here. There'll be another screw behind here, just like on the passenger side. And let's see, there's another screw back there. And then I think we're gonna have to slide these buttons off. I think they just slide off from what I understand. And we might have to take the steering column off. We might have to take the steering wheel off. I'm not sure yet. We'll see where it goes. Update on what we have going on here. So I removed those screws that I showed you guys. And just like on the passenger side, there was a little clip piece that I had to use the little screwdriver to pop off, and then there was another, I took the first screw off this little stripping right here, and was able to pry it back and get to that last screw back there. There is another one back there too, you guys can see right above my phone, and then as I lower my phone down, there's the hole, which removes this bottom piece, which I guess necessarily I might not have had to remove this bottom piece. I might have been able to just remove the, what do you call it, the hood latch piece right here, but I don't have one of these pieces on the new dash, so I'm gonna have to put it on the new dash anyway, so it pretty much would have had to eventually come off. Bottom piece off, hood latch cable disconnected. Now we're gonna remove this, and then I think I'll start messing with these buttons. 4G Eclipse getting a wash out there. God dang, she's just so pretty. Momentary break in the action though. We'll review in just a moment. I'm gonna go pick up Mason though in the GTO. Hi ho, off to get Mason we go. If you're here specifically for the dash removal, we'll get back to that in just a minute, or you can skip ahead. I'm just gonna talk for just a second. I'm in the line right now to get Mason in the GTO, and I don't know, if I was a kid, think about that. Think about being at the age of 1st grade. Think about, like, I don't know, for you, my parents were picking me up in like the coolest cars, but I never, you know, really thought about it. But whenever you saw a cool car come through, you're like, dang, that's a cool car. And you know, it's kind of like where some of your, you know, car love maybe started. And just think of the legends that Mason gets picked up at school. Like, he was getting picked up in a GTR in Okinawa. He's been picked up in a Delica, a GTO here in South Carolina. And it was really funny too, the other day I was in the Delica and his teacher was out there calling names for who's car's coming through, who's about to be picked up. And she's like, man, where you get all these weird cars? And I was like, Japan. And she's like, man, I haven't seen one of these. Like, she was trying to act like she had seen one before. She's like, I haven't seen one of these in forever. I was like, yeah, I've been going over to Japan, getting them, and I sell them over here. And then she like heard me again say Japan's like, wait, so you really go over to Japan and get these? She's like, that's crazy. I always see you in some weird stuff picking up Mason. And I thought that was hilarious. So it's funny to see lots of people noticing. And whenever I pull up, I hear a lot of the kids talking about the van, the GTO. The GTO's got to be one of the coolest. Like, for a kid, like, that thing looks pretty sweet, like some kind of fast alien spaceship. But I am going to continue sitting here and waiting on him for the next 20 minutes and not talking you guys' ear off. What I am going to do is sit here and watch some of my Liberty Walk DVD in the GTO while I respond to messages. Don't forget, you buy this GTO, you get a sweet Liberty Walk DVD with it. I got a few of them actually. Kato-san, I've met him before. Welcome back from school, Mason. What's your favorite car to get picked up in, between the van or the GTO?
Well, sometimes this one gets pretty hot.
It gets hot?
Pretty hot.
Is that good or bad?
It like almost makes me sweat.
Oh.
And the van just like doesn't really have like a good heater.
Yeah, it does. The heat works on the van, just not very good in the mornings because it takes us 1 minute to get to school. The heat works, it just takes more than 1 minute to warm up.
And but this one doesn't really have any buttons for me, but it has like a little TV, but that one doesn't put any buttons for me.
This went really, really in depth. So which car is better that you like getting picked up in? Van? Okay. Back out here at it, trying to get this dash out. Next steps we've done so far that I did before I started filming, there are 2 screw holes up here. One right there, one right there. Took that out. Annoying dogs. And then you got to start popping these buttons out, and you'll think you're going to break them for sure. They have these little tabs on them, right? See if it'll focus. Right there. So you just kind of pry them out. Definitely be careful with it. You just pry them right out, and then you can unplug them if they're plugged into anything. You'll feel like you're going to break it for sure. Just be careful and keep on prying until they pop out. Now, I feel like that should be it for this piece, but it's just not coming out. I don't know if I have to remove this part of the steering column or not. I might go ahead and start unscrewing some of those. There's a few screws on this. I guess I'm going to experiment with that, and we'll see if that helps get this piece out or not. Hey, 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 upon further investigation, inside, once you pop out these buttons, it's hard to see. Can't even see it on, wait, there we go, maybe. Right inside that top piece right here, if you look back there, right there, you can see it. There's a screw back there. There's another one just like it on the other side that you can see through that top hole, and that's the last things that should be holding in the gauge cluster. All right, we're really close to getting this out. Those 2 screws came out, and actually that didn't even have to come out to get this part out. So you don't have to go through those holes. You can wait and pull this part out, because there's those screws. That's the screw hole we took out, so that's going to be to get the actual gauge cluster out. This little piece right here just popped out. You're going to once again feel like you're going to break it, but very carefully you can pop it out. And now the problem is wedging it out. I think this is where it's going to come to where I need to remove this here steering column piece and just the trim, I would think. But I'm trying right now to squeeze it out. It's almost out. I'm just really afraid to break something. I think to play it safe and just not risk breaking anything, we're gonna start taking this off. Like you can see here, there's some screws down here. I'm just gonna start unscrewing, see if I can at least get some of it off and take it apart so I can slide this stinking piece out without breaking it in half. We are so close. I decided to go ahead and remove the steering wheel, which consists of just popping this part off of the center, disconnecting the horn from right there. And there's a big nut, big old nut that holds the steering wheel on to right there. And I did pop this off. I probably didn't have to. Once again, like when I replaced the steering wheel, I kind of did all this too, but I think really all you have to do is pop this nut off and then give it a couple good like jabs. This is kind of really weird. A couple jabs from the back just to kind of get it to pop off of this right here. But this thing is just barely holding on still. I'm gonna see if I can get this piece off. Finally got the steering column apart. All you had to do was, once you get the screws undone, you just gotta pry this piece off. And I didn't even have to pry the top piece off. I just got the bottom piece off and was able to slide the instrument panel out. And now the gauge cluster should also slide right out. I'm just gonna have to put down the camera so I can unplug everything from the rear as I pull it out. Oh yeah, and plus one more screw right here at the top holding it in. Oh my God. Here's a look at the back of the gauge cluster. I have this one out and I have that one out, but this one is being such a pain in the butt. I hate these things. I hate taking apart dashes and gauge clusters. Freaking finally, gauge cluster out down over there on the passenger side. That should be just about everything. I think, okay, so yeah, there should be a bolt right there and another right over there. I think that might be just about the last thing holding us on here, except up here, I still need to pop out that vent piece and undo 2 more bolts up there. Those last 2 bolts off. Now we have this up here. And for my next magic trick, hopefully I'm not breaking it, and hopefully this works. I have my heat gun. I'm gonna try to kind of warm up the plastic a little bit so it's not so cold and fragile and brittle feeling. And hopefully that'll help get a screwdriver under there and pop it out without cracking it. I'm not gonna leave the heat gun on it for very long. I don't wanna melt anything. But hopefully this will work a little bit. Let us see if that has helped. Oh, it's so brittle. I'm so scared to break it. I'm not sure exactly where the clips are under here. That would be helpful. Just looks like it's gonna break. I'm scared. I'm gonna put down the camera so I can try to use 2 hands on it. Well, you guys better be glad that I had the camera off, or else you would have heard a bunch of cuss words. I know some of you don't care, but I try to keep it a little bit family friendly here. She cracked. Of course. Very poor design to be able to even try to pull that off. Like, everything I was reading was saying, you're gonna break it. It's not coming off. And obviously with a dash that was this far gone, it's been in the sun for 26 years, just sitting in somebody's probably front yard in Japan, it was bound to happen. It didn't go into a million pieces. Once again, there's still a piece of it up there, and I'm just gonna leave that piece in as I take it out, because now I've exposed the screw. There's a screw right here and a screw right here that has to come out, and then that should be everything holding the dash in. So, I mean, I'll salvage it, I'll glue it in, and I'll try to look for a replacement piece, but either way, the dash is gonna be a million times better than it was. It's just unfortunate that that piece is such a badly designed, fragile little piece of crap plastic. I think we're pretty much good to go. The dash is pretty loose right now. One of the last things that kind of felt like it was holding it on are these vents right here. But if you just pull from the bottom, you'll feel those vents pop loose from behind. There's no screws or anything that's holding them on. And now I'm gonna go over to the passenger side and see if I can wiggle that bottom loose. So what we wanna do is we're gonna try to wiggle the bottom loose to where like it breaks free of everything. And then we'll wiggle the top loose and pull the top out and kind of up towards us. I'm gonna leave the camera here in this box, kind of aiming in to see if we can capture this glorious moment. Oh boys, you're close. You're very, very close. Now you guys get to see my butt. Well, maybe not. Maybe I can sit down and do it. Feels like there's still like one thing maybe holding it in. Where are you at? This side there just feels like there's something. Oh no, there we go. It's coming. Coming off, coming off. I wonder if I should take the rest of this off. All right, we're gonna remove the top piece right here too. Get out of my car! Oh my goodness. I think one thing that might be holding it in is the centerpiece. I haven't taken the centerpiece completely off. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but I might end up having to take the center console piece out. What's happening is it's getting caught when I try to bring it out. It's getting caught on the center console piece. So I think I'm gonna have to remove a couple more screws maybe and just take this whole center console piece out. This is a real pain in the butt. I mean, this is my first time doing it. I think second time would be a lot easier, but just this trial and error stuff, annoying. Okay, so the center console is out. There was only 2 more screws here at the back other than what we had already undone. And I have it turned sideways right now because I'm not gonna disconnect the cigarette lighter and whatever else is connected to it below. But this should give us the clearance we need to get this thing out of here. We might want to put the e-brake down too. Oh, and chalk the wheel, I guess, for extra safety. If the military's taught me anything, it's extra safety. All right, you guys are back in the box. Let's see if we can get this thing out of here. Okay, here we go. Dash, get out of my car. I'm done with you. Come on. I just need to clear this steering column. It's as down far as it'll go. I'm oh so very close. But I think I'm gonna have to remove that because I just don't see it coming out without removing that. I don't know if I can maybe just pop the sides off. Let's see what I can do here. Boom, 2 screws that go right into there. And this piece dropped right down like that. And we should be able to clear it now. If not, I'll remove that side too, but I think that should be good enough. So close! Get out of my freaking car. What's the holdup now? We're catching down here at the bottom near the shifter. And up at the top by the steering, or by the rearview mirror. Freak out. Oh shoot. I think we're there, boys. I think we're almost out. Oh my goodness. I think we've done it. After way too long, I think we might have done it. Oh my God, so close. Look at that, it looks ridiculous. This stupid project. Oh man. All right, let me see if I can set you guys on the old dash, or I mean the new dash, and let you see the moment of truth here. All right, I think it's set up to where it'll stay. Get out of my car. Glory Glory. Hallelujah. She's out, boys. Oh my God. Well, if you were wondering, that's what's behind the dash of a 180 or an S13 in the States, 240SX. There were kind of some instructions online and they were pretty much the same. I didn't really notice much differences. I did look up the instructions as we got going and realized that it was a pain in the butt. So I did look up some instructions on some bolts and locations of things and how to get those stupid vents out of the top. And I think it was pretty much all the same. And now this stupid hunk of junk is out. Now, God, it's still in there. What the freaking heck? That's so annoying. What a crappy design piece. Now I'm gonna have to source a piece for that. So even after you guys just saw that happen on camera, I came from the back and hit the tab and everything trying to get it out, and it came into more pieces. That is just a terribly designed piece that is obviously probably the worst part of the dash. I mean, look at this dash though. What in the heck? Hopefully they're not putting dashes like this in cars anymore, because this is ridiculous. I do want to see though, now that this dash is out, I want to see if I can fix the dash. Now, like if I mess something up on this dash, who cares? Let's see what I can do with this. But that's down the road. For now, it's time to clean up this one a little bit because I haven't had a chance to clean it up. And then there are so many screws and nuts and bolts all throughout this car now from this. It'll be a miracle if I find every single one and get it back into the right place. Ladies and gentlemen, working on the new dash. You guys remember a few videos ago, I did a Shine Armor kind of like sponsored type video. They sent out some products, I did some reviews. I am using their product once again, using this dash stuff, this dash cleaner, and it is definitely bringing off some of the dirt. Because this thing's not superbly clean, but with the dash out, I can definitely get it looking a heck of a lot better than it currently does. And a heck of a lot better than that stupid piece of crap dash over there. And I don't know, we might not even get to installing this tonight. We might just do an install tomorrow and pick up a new video there. We'll see, but right now I'm gonna do some cleaning on this thing. All right, so I've been cleaning this dash. I'm still not done cleaning, but man, look at this thing. It really is cleaning up really nicely. One thing I was taking a look at though was comparing these vents right here. Now this one, everything functions on it. There's a little bit, see how there's a white piece right there? But that side's kind of worn. Now, I was looking on the other dash to see, focus, the condition of them on there, and I just realized that you can pull them off. So I just pulled the one off the original dash from the car, and it's still got both white pieces, and it also still has a functioning up and down air director. Because this one moves, but it's missing the piece in there that connects all of them. So that is actually a very easy piece to pop out. You push the tabs in on that side and on that side, and it pushes forward. So you come from the back of the dash, do the tabs, and push it forward, and it'll pop right out. It's kind of funny comparing these two dashes, because obviously my car has very, very low mileage on it, but it's got an awful dash because it's been sitting out in the sun. But you look at pieces like that, and you compare them, and the one that was in my car was in way nicer condition than the one that's in this dash. And another thing I was looking at, see if we can get some light on it, are these ventilation pieces right here. These things are nasty. But I was looking at the ones over here and already popped them out because they are nice and clean. So the dash might look like, from just looking at the outside of it, like it's got a million miles on it. But when you really look at some of these internal pieces, a lot nicer condition than that one that's probably got a lot more miles on it. I think I might go ahead and pull this vent off of the old one too. The one on my dash looks a little bit better. The center vents look pretty similar, so I'll probably just leave those be. But I'm gonna take everything out and clean it up real nice tonight before I install this dash. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. Progress update for the night. It is about 8 o'clock right now. Jesse was over here for a little while. He was hanging out. We had a little bit of dinner and we're working on swapping some pieces over. So on this dash, this is the new dash, obviously. I swapped over this vent, and this vent because they were all better working, functioning. Cleaned up all the stuff pretty good. Still got a little bit more cleaning to do. I swapped out this vent. All these pieces on the back just have little clips that you squeeze together and push out the front. Swapped out these little vents right here. They're just kind of hanging on right now till they get over to the actual car. And that's gonna be about it for tonight. Cleaned up some of these pieces. Old dash over here. This little piece right here was on the 180 when I bought it. It kind of shows like the battery voltage. It just, I mean, like in like an orange, a green, and a red. And it's got an extra cigarette lighter hole. But I think I'm just gonna ditch that for now. I'll probably take it off this dash, clean it up, and keep it around just as an extra. But I think the 180 is so clean, and once it has that clean dash in there, I don't wanna have like some random clutter in there. So I'm just gonna take it off and not put it back on that one. And tomorrow, in the next video, because I am gonna end this video for the night, we will be putting everything back in the car. I'm gonna leave it, close it up for the night, close the garage. I'll probably clean up all these pieces tomorrow, but then hopefully tomorrow, if everything goes as planned, the dash will be back in. The steering wheel, remember, I put it on in Japan, if you guys remember, and I put it on just slightly crooked on accident. So when I put it back on, I'm gonna make sure it goes on straight. And then the final thing we'll do to the 180 is take off that door panel, and we have to take out the locking mechanism, because if you guys remember, I also snapped off the key that was shipped with the car in the lock, and now it's stuck in there. So I gotta find a way to get that out and get the car to actually lock again, because right now it won't lock. So that's pretty important for a 180 SX from Japan with 30,000 original miles. I hope this video has been a little bit helpful for you guys though. That was my first experience taking out a dash of a 180 SX, and boy, it was an experience. You know, some things online said about a 2-hour job, and then people were kind of like, nah man, it's 20 minutes. I was like, oh heck yeah, it's gonna be super easy. But I guess the 1 to 2 hour job is if it's your first time, because that did take a while. But it's out, it's good to go. Hopefully we can get all the screws back in the right place. And tomorrow we will have a fantastic looking 180 outside and inside. And I'm super excited. It is 8 o'clock now though, and I would like to go inside and enjoy my evening, and we'll be back out here early tomorrow to finish it up. I think Jesse's gonna come over. We'll do another video tomorrow of a how to install 180 dash, and that'll finish up this 180, baby. It's that time. And then we're taking the 180 on some drives and taking it to some stuff, and I'm dragging this on. I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, thanks for watching.